y'all. My name is Jessica Behrens, and I am a relocated Yankee living down in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'd like to share with y'all a little bit about how I met Chiara Luce Badano. I like to use the word met because it really was this encounter with an actual person and not a nice story or memory of someone who lived a good life a long time ago. And so this was about 10 years ago, right around the time of Blessed Chiara Luce's beatification. And it was a difficult moment for me. I started to get sick with symptoms that doctors thought were the first stages of multiple sclerosis. I had always been healthy. I even played basketball in college. And so it was a new experience for me. The unknown, an illness like MS wouldn't allow me to do things that I had planned for my life. After all these diagnostic tests, it just left me scared. And one of these tests was a spinal tap, gone completely wrong. I had some complications from it. After the procedure, I was in bed for several days, just with this excruciating pain. It was really the worst pain I had ever been in my life. And I just felt completely abandoned by God, like he was supposed to be there to help me, but I couldn't feel him at all. A few days later, I came across this random article in my inbox about the story of Chiara Luce and how she had lived her experience of illness. She had died of cancer, a really painful type of cancer, right before her 19th birthday. And so during that experience, she would say to God, "If you want it, Jesus, then I want it too." And so reading this article, I was overflooded in that moment with just this sense of joy and peace, as though Chiara Luce were coming into my own scary reality and offering her friendship. I also saw her as his teammate, going back to those basketball days that God had sent to run beside me so that I could make it too. Because in college, what would happen when we would do sprints, if you were kind of slow, which I was always a slower player, our coach would pair you with a faster player. And what always happened was that slower player picked up the pace of the faster player, and running together, they both made it in time. And so I thought of Chiara Luce as this faster player who was coming to run beside me. That basically launched our adventure. And I really tried to learn everything I could about her, research it online, whatever language it was in, Spanish, Italian, whatever. The love she had for everyone was so open and universal. And she lived the present moment just focusing on what was in front of her and who she could love in front of her. And so trying to live like that really changed my perspective. Instead of being fearful for what the future might bring, the big unknown, would I get sick, would I not get sick, whatever, I started instead to just wake up with joy, thinking today I get to love. And so more moments of life, whatever they meant, just became more opportunities to be able to love. And so little by little, as I was running next to Chiara Luce, I realized that she was taking me someplace. And this was to discover the focolare spirituality that she had lived when she had been alive on earth. She had been a youth member of the focolare movement. The focolare really has at its core the belief that God is love, and that God is love especially in moments of suffering. And so it recalled me back to those days of intense pain on my sick bed when it really wasn't the absence of God, but it was an experience of God himself. And even Chiara Luce, when she suffered, she would say, "I often feel crushed by suffering, but it's in these moments that God is coming to visit me." And so I thought, okay, if God is love even in suffering, I can't do anything better than with my life than to return his love and to follow him. I also offered my life path, my vocation, my future to Chiara Luce, telling her and God, whatever you want, I'll be happy with. And little by little, it became clear what God wanted of me. And it turned out to be the focolare. So now I live down in Atlanta. I'm in community with 5 other consecrated women, and we try to put Jesus's commandment of mutual love into practice so that God can be with us, and then we can be an expression of his love for the world. In the end, I actually never had a recurrence of symptoms. Surprise, not sick. Maybe, who knows, maybe it was all an excuse of God to be able to discover his love. And so as Chiara Luce would say, young people are the future. They have only one life to live, and so it makes sense to spend it well.